Hello, 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 friends and family. I hope everyone is having a marvelous Tuesday. This is Coach Kiva Lanice Murdaugh, and I wanted to let you know about a new segment that I am now doing. So every Tuesday around 1:30, I will be hopping on, and I will be conducting a segment that I'm calling Tip Tuesday. And I will be providing life coaching tips, business tips. I have a natural hair company, so I will be providing hair tips, anything that I feel inspired to provide that particular day. So I hope that you plan to join me every Tuesday at 1:30 as we dive into our tip of the day on Tip Tuesday. I'm going to just dive right into our very first tip for our very first segment. I'm so excited. Can't y'all tell? Anyway, the first tip for Tip Tuesday is I want to talk about fear, okay? I want to talk about fear. I can remember as a little girl, I had a speech impediment. I stutter extremely bad. And it seems to be worse when I feel the most relaxed or comfortable, or if I'm feeling kind of uptight and nervous. I just cannot speak. And when I was a little girl, it was extremely bad. It was so bad to where I was crippled by fear as far as just speaking out. And I can remember I have two younger sisters, and I would use my middle sister as my mouthpiece, right? So I would have her, I would kind of tell her, hey, say such and such and such. And she would relay what I was saying. So I kind of used her as my speaking voice, as my mouthpiece. And I can remember, just being a little bit envious of people that did not stutter, and just admiring just how flawless their conversation was. So it took me a while to come to grip and to embrace it as being a part of who made me unique, and to also understand it, right? And I feel like even though I have always been a smart child, I kind of feel like it held me back from certain situations. And it wasn't until I made up in my mind that, you know what, I'm just going to just embrace it, because that makes Kiva who Kiva is. And it wasn't until that moment when I realized within myself that, hey, this is not anything to be embarrassed about, number one, and it's definitely not anything that should hold me back from doing anything. I avoided even doing videos and lives because I was so anxious about coming before you guys and stuttering, right? Like who wants to be doing that? And it held me back for so long until finally I'm like, hey, I have nothing to be embarrassed about. There are so many people that can relate to my speech impediment. So I'm going to use it as a platform, and I'm going to give it voice, because it's a part of who I am. Once I overcame that fear, I was able to break outside of myself and accomplish more than I ever thought. And this is just the beginning. So with all that being said, I just want to encourage you to, whatever that obstacle is, whatever that challenge is, whatever that fear is that is inhibiting you from moving forward, I'm going to give you a little assignment, okay? Yes, you get homework on the first day. So write this down. What I want you to do is I want you to hone in. And you have to be honest with yourself, because you cannot overcome anything, number one, if you are not being honest with who you are and being true to your authentic self. So what I want you to do is I want you to grab a sheet of paper, and I want you to write down what fears that are inhibiting you from moving forward, either in your career, in your life, in relationships, whatever you seem as a challenge, write it down on one part of your piece of paper, okay? The next column of your sheet, I want you to write down what small challenges you can do to overcome that fear. What small challenges can you do to overcome that challenge, that situation? Doesn't have to be anything large, and I will give you a quick example. And I will use myself. I had a fear of public speaking. So for me, my small move forward to overcome that is to speak, right? It doesn't have to be a live necessarily. It doesn't even have to be a video where I'm showing my face, but I can start with my voice if that is something that is very crippling to me, right? So I just encourage you to write down any small steps that you can take daily to progress yourself moving forward in overcoming that fear. Okay? That's number 2. The last thing is I want you to implement it. Whatever you have written down as steps in order for you to move forward, I want you to create a plan of action. Implement those small changes. And I guarantee you, the more you step outside of your comfort zone, the more you challenge yourself to be you, authentically you, you will start to see progress, right? And progress is a beautiful thing, but you cannot progress if you are standing still. You cannot progress if you're stagnant. You cannot progress if you are afraid to move forward. So that's my tip for today is recognize, number 1, recognize those challenges, recognize those fears. That's number 1. Number 2, I want you to create small steps, things that you can do that can progress you beyond those fears. And number 3, and last but not least, put those tips into actions. I hope you found this Tip Tuesday to be very helpful. Please join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I will do my best to provide feedback, tips, assistance, anything that I can that will brighten your day and to help to progress and move you forward. Follow me on all social media. On Facebook, you can follow me at Kiva Lernice Murdaugh. That's Kiva Lernice Murdaugh. And you can also find me on Instagram at ThatKiv. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope y'all have a wonderful Tuesday.